Are you ready to talk about Landstar Orientation? And I'm going to tell you what it's been like my first week as a Landstar BCO. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Trucking with CJ. Now, let's talk about Landstar Orientation. There's no big secret. It's just another orientation, just like any other trucking company. You're leasing on as an owner-operator with Landstar. I had orientation up in Indianapolis last week. I went Wednesday and Thursday. The first day of orientation, Wednesday, showed up. Orientation starts at 7:30. First, the hotel. Went up there Tuesday night. Stayed at the hotel up there. Not a bad hotel. It's under construction. So, I mean, for what it was, 2-night stay at a decent hotel for free. No continental breakfast or anything like that. But anyway, had my breakfast, went to orientation. First thing they did, you introduce yourself, blah, blah, blah. And then there was only 3 of us the first day, 3 of us. 2 new BCOs, and 1 was a previous BCO who left and then coming back for the 1-day orientation because he's going to be driving for another BCO. So there was 3 of us the first day, and then we went through the ELD issue. We made our choice. I chose keep trucking. So did the other guy, and the other guy chose OmniTrax. They only had 1 keep trucking, and since the other guy got there a few minutes before me, they gave it to him. And they wanted me to make another choice, but I kind of stood my ground on that. I'm like, I'm not going to pay for something I don't want, because OmniTrack's obviously more expensive, and they have to install it, which you have to pay for, so forth, so on. Keep trucking was kind of, sort of plug and play. I'll get to that in a minute for my truck. So they actually found keep trucking ELD device down in Jacksonville. Jacksonville was kind enough to overnight it, so I got it the next day. Let's see here. So we had to update our paper logs. We had to do our last 7 off duty, and then we had to do our logs from the day we were approved. We touched on safety, the whole sitting duck policy, so forth, so on. All you Landstar BCOs, you've been through it. Everybody who's interested in coming to Landstar, I mean, you've seen multiple videos about their safety, sitting duck program, so forth, so on. We got logged into our load board, the Maximizer app, the Connect app, Landstar Online, watch videos, typical orientation stuff. We had our hazmat test, open book test. We went over, we had a little hazmat presentation, and then we took the test. I mean, you gotta know where to look. You gotta learn how to cross-reference the different things, and I think that's what the test is about, to make sure that you can cross-reference in the emergency response guide to, what it needs, what information you need to know about your load. Then we had lunch, pretty good lunch. I know I'm kind of going through this fast, but I mean, it's typical orientation. We had lunch. They ordered us lunch in from a pizza place. Pretty good food. I had a hot ham and cheese sandwich, or hoagie. That was really good. And then let's see, after lunch, more videos. Got into the load board a little bit more. and then had to do e-learns. You have a certain amount of days to get your e-learns done, like 15 days. But since I was sitting at the hotel, I just blasted them all out. What else am I going to do? Got all the e-learns done. There's another hazmat e-learn that you got to sit through. But, hey, can never have enough information about hazmat. Day 2. Showed up day 2, did more videos, more load board stuff, how to use the maximizer. Let's see, my ELD showed up, and then on my truck, a 2017 Cascadia was not plug and play into the ECM port. Mine had to be hardwired. So I didn't have the proper tools, and I wasn't going to pay anybody to install it for me. So I just, okay. We were leaving that day after orientation anyway, so lived 2 hours away. So I drove home, and then actually Friday morning is when I installed the device, because I had to pull out underneath the panels and get to my ECM port, and I just tied into right there. It wanted me to do some crazy stuff over by the fuse panel, this, that, so forth, so on. No. I wasted an hour and a half trying to search for those specific wires that they wanted. So I just pulled the panel back for the ECM port, and I just matched up the wires, tied into it, and it perfectly fine. So anyway, Thursday, right after orientation, called trailer utilization. Told them where I was going to be. I was going to be at the house. And they said that they put me on a list, and they'll give me a call when they have a trailer available for me. Took me 2 hours to get home, about 2.5 hours to get home. By the time I parked my truck at my parking spot and got into my pickup, getting ready to come home, trailer utilization called me and says, "Hey, you ready to go pick up the trailer?" So I guess it's just a luck of the draw, depending on what area you're in. I mean, I've heard nightmares about people having to wait days, over a week to get a trailer. It took me 2.5 hours. But because I was placed on hold because of my E-log, it wasn't installed. I had to wait until the next day, get my E-log, get the ELD installed, call the log department, get all logged in, login information, so forth, so on. Once that was up and running, which took 5 minutes with Keep Trucking, it's not a nightmare like I've heard about with OmniTrax, where you could be sitting there for hours waiting for login information. The girl that answered the phone and helped me in the log department, she had my login information. I was up and running within 10 minutes. So from there, I went and picked up my trailer, inspected the trailer. Trailer was out of the 120-day inspection period. So I called trailer utilization, let them know everything was good on it, except the FMCSA DOT inspection was good. It's good up until June of 2022. But the last, that was the last time it was inspected altogether. So it was due again in, well, I guess that would be October. So that trailer hasn't had its 120-day inspection since its annual inspection, I guess. Or the last time I was inspected back in June of last year. So, but they said, yeah, you're still within DOT, so go ahead and take the trailer and, just get the 120-day done as soon as possible. So, starting out, I'm picking up a trailer that's out of specs, but it didn't put me on hold or anything like that. So again, that just wraps up orientation. Again, orientation, it's nothing special. It's just any other orientation to me, really. Great people at the operations center up in Indy. Super friendly, super knowledgeable. They came in, they cracked some jokes with us. We had a good time. Good people up there for sure. So, and that summarizes it. Oh, and Thursday, before we left, we had the Thursday safety conference call. It was the third Thursday of the month, so we sat in on that for the first one. And ironically, one of the topics was drop and hook trailers being left out of the 120-day inspection period. And my trailer I picked up was out of the 120-day inspection period. Irony, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, got my trailer and then, took it back to my parking spot where I parked my truck. And that was Friday. So obviously I wasn't going to try and search for anything on a Friday afternoon, and get stuck somewhere over the weekend. So I figured, okay, just wait till Monday. So I searched the load board over the weekend, tried to make some calls on Saturday. None of the agents were answering. So I don't know. So anyway, I found a couple loads I was interested in. And then first thing Monday morning, I called and I booked my first load, going to North Carolina. And then from there, I kind of piggybacked off of that. And once I got that load confirmation, everything was good on it. Then I went to go find something in the North Carolina area that I was delivering at. And I found something down in South Carolina, just very short deadhead. And then it's going to be a short week for me because the first load don't pick up until Wednesday. It's just the timing of it was because there was nothing else I really found that sparked my interest for my first week of getting my feet wet, booking my first load. This load here really kind of stood out to me. It's good money and it's a good little run for my first time out with Landstar. So it's my first week's going to be a short week, but we're going to truck right along and get these loads done. Get these under the belt, and I should be back Friday with enough time to scan in all my paperwork to get paid for both loads. So far, the first week of being a Landstar BCO officially has been a good week. I've met some good people. The other guy in the orientation with me, we exchanged numbers. He lives about 2 hours from me, where I'm at. But hey, it's good to have a connection out there on the road, someone that you've already met, you've been through orientation with, just kind of feed off of each other. We've been kind of texting each other back and forth all weekend, like, hey, do you remember this? Do you remember that? Blah, blah, blah type thing. Just kind of helping each other out with the load board. Hey, what did she say about that? Blah, blah, blah. So it's good to have that network with people. But other than that, so far it's been a good week. I learned the load board pretty quick. I'm already looking at booking out loads for next week. Next week I need to get myself out to Missouri because I have an appointment to get my APU installed on my truck. Must have, because I definitely want to invest in that piece of equipment to save on fuel. So I'll do another video on that. I got a series of videos coming up so I'll kind of go over some likes and dislikes so far, because every company, you're always going to have something you like, something you don't like. It's something you can gripe about, but it's nothing that's really going to change just because it's just the way it is. But it's a common gripe. But, you look past it because, the good outweigh the bad, by far here at Landstar so far that I've seen compared to, other things I've done. Especially where I've been the past 4 or 5 years, where I was leased on to as an owner-operator with, I had employees, I had multiple routes, multiple trucks. This is definitely a lot less stressful. From here, next video is probably, my next immediate video is probably going to be the load, running these loads. I'm going to try and remember to do some video while I'm out there on these loads. If anything happens, good, bad, or indifferent. Just kind of document, my first 2 loads with Landstar as a Landstar BCO. If you're interested in learning as I'm learning, hit the subscribe button. Like the video. You know, the more likes, more subscriptions I get, the more these videos will get circulated for other people to see, for more people to see. Probably put my contact information down below, my email. If anybody's interested in connecting with me, networking as other Landstar BCOs, reach out. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up this video from here. Again, nothing really spectacularly different from a Landstar orientation from any other company's orientation. It's training, it's videos, it's, you know, rules and regulations, you know, that you're allowed to do, what you can't do, what you can do as a BCO, what you can't do as a BCO. You know, there's a little bit more involved with the load board, so forth, so on, but that takes the place of other stuff. Stand up for what you believe. Don't be a victim. Love and protect your family from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Use your Second Amendment constitutional right. Carry a weapon. Until next time.